Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very last Thomas Hardy live show.
Yay.
For our last book, we have read A Pair of Blue Eyes, which is one of his earlier works. You don't have a copy, right?
No, I wish I
No.
did. We'll talk about that. But yeah,
It's very pretty.
it
Um,
is.
but gosh, we have not read all Thomas Hardy's books,
Mm.
but we somehow decided that this would be his last one. I'm not sure why we decided that, actually.
I feel like that's because it's one of his first ones, right? And we thought
Yeah,
it would be fun. Yeah.
I feel like maybe it was the first one that was like officially published as a novel. It was something like that.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
and of course, it's also the most autobiographical work of Hardy, so
hmm
great one to have read. Because
Yeah.
we started, where did we start? Jude the Obscure was number
Yeah.
one.
Oh God. Yeah.
I know we read the Rootlanders, but that wasn't number two, was it?
I feel like when did we read? Maybe that was number two. So we read Judy Obscure, The Woodlanders, The Return of the Native, The Trumpet Major,
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, and then we read Far from the Many Crowds, I
Purple
believe.
Ray Crown. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while. We started this, I feel like over a year ago or something.
yeah. I
Am I
mean,
crazy?
we've
Yeah.
done one book every season,
Yeah.
so it's been almost 2 years since we've done that.
True. Wow.
Hello, Lynn. Thank you for
Hello.
being here. Have you
Yeah.
also read the book, like now or in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like what we usually do is give our thoughts a little bit and then we go into spoilers. So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be spoiled for this book, which I recommend not being spoiled for this book, like with
Yeah.
some classics, I'm like, it doesn't really matter. But with this one, no.
There
It
there
does
are things. There are things.
matter.
Yeah.
So, Mary, would you like to start and share your spoiler free thoughts?
Spoiler free. Yes. So, okay, my thoughts this time will be a bit different than usual because sadly, you were asking if I had a physical copy, and I really wish I did because I listened to an awful audiobook.
Mm,
It was a really bad audiobook. I do not recommend it at all. I don't even know if it was a real person or not. So we're getting into that whole gray area.
oh,
I'm not
mm-hmm.
even sure. It was really bad. And so I'm sad to say that it kind of tainted my reading experience because I was not having a good time listening to the audiobook. And sometimes it was very difficult to concentrate, especially because this person, it was very hard to distinguish who was talking when. So sometimes I didn't
Oh,
even know. Yeah. So my thoughts are a bit mixed with this one because I'm really trying to separate the story, the book, from my reading experience, which was really bad. And
yeah.
so, yeah, I think it's one of those books where I genuinely think I would have enjoyed it a lot more had I read the physical copy. So I actually can see myself rereading it in the future, not the near future necessarily, but one
Mm-hmm.
day, eventually, I would like to revisit the story. With all that said, though, I did enjoy it for what it was. I was not expecting a few things that happened, which was exciting. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this was like one of the most, if not the most, romance heavy story. Like it was very much focused on the romance and, the whole intrigue there. And I did appreciate it for that. I enjoyed following our main protagonist, even though she had some questionable decisions along the way, but that's part of
Mm-hmm.
it. But overall, I enjoyed following her. Of course, I did have a lot of issues with other characters. We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I will say I missed the usual Hardy's nature descriptions of nature that he usually includes in his books. And I guess because this was one of the first ones, maybe he was still trying to figure out his style. But I did miss those chapters where it was more, nature representing someone's feelings. He used kind of a different method for that, which was also interesting, but I missed that point, I guess. Um, Overall, I would say I enjoyed it. I do wish I had read a physical copy because I feel like I would have appreciated it a lot more. But I do appreciate the themes going on. I don't think it's doing anything, maybe at the time, yes, but right now I didn't find it particularly like new or anything. I'm not sure if it's saying anything we haven't seen before. But I appreciate it for what it is. So I don't really have a rating though, because then again, I didn't like the audiobook at all, but I do not want that to, taint my rating of the book. So I wouldn't really know. I think overall it was a positive experience, even though I didn't love it necessarily. But that's it, basically. Yeah.
I feel like that is a complicated thing with audiobooks,
Mm-hmm.
where it can really combine your reading experience with just the actual
Yeah.
text,
Yeah.
which is difficult because I think both of us are quite people who review books based on our reading experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
it's really difficult if you've only listened to the audiobook to
Mm-hmm.
review it for just the book.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. I got the audiobook, I think the only official audiobook that's
Mm-hmm.
quite hard to get,
Mm-hmm.
which was luckily for me a good audiobook. So I had a
Yay!
good reading experience.
I'm glad.
Um, and I absolutely agree with you what you said on the romance, that it's a very singular plot,
Mm-hmm.
or just the focus is very singular in the sense with the romance. And as a romance reader, I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed how incredibly character focused this book was, because that also helped with my focus. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
find this at all difficult to follow, where I've had some Thomas Hardy books where you have the nature writing and maybe some more political writing where I kind of lost it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, I think, like the least Hardy book that we've read so
Yeah.
far,
Yeah, I agree.
which I don't know what it says about me that I like that. So um, maybe just because it's something a little bit different. But
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely up there for me when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
his books. I quite enjoy this.
Good.
And yes, the characters. I mean, it's so character focused that we definitely can talk a little bit about the characters
Yeah.
in our spoiler section.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have a
Definitely.
rating for this, somewhere between a 3 and a 4.
Mm.
But I feel that's always Hardy's books for me, unless it's
Yeah.
one of the major ones and it's a 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say that it's been very 3.5 for me, I guess. 3,
Hmm.
3.5 overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe this feels innovating because we've read so many of his other novels, of course, that feel more similar. So the fact that
Yeah.
this one is different is like, oh, okay, I appreciate it, even though it's not his usual style, but it's new and fun in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of his books in my mind merge together.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really remember what was the Woodlanders, the Return of the Native, or the Trumpet Invasion. Like
Yeah.
I have memories, like certain scenes that I loved how they were written, and I don't know which one they're from.
Yeah, I get that. I have the same, I think.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Far from the Manic Crowd is very distinct for me, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that's because I watched the film a few times. I don't know if it's a
Mm,
novel per se.
mm.
But I think this one will also stand out. I don't think I will confuse this one with the other ones. How about
No.
you?
No, yeah, this definitely stands out for sure. Yeah, I feel like it's a bit like you were saying, his major novels, and now this one, I feel like we can distinguish pretty easily. The other
Yeah.
ones are a bit more intertwined, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think that's also just a reflection of the fact that he um, probably made a living out of his writing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was necessary for him to write at a certain frequency, and then you cannot create a unique masterpiece like
Yeah,
that all the time, I feel like.
maybe.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I mean, not even Charles Dickens, in my opinion. Although,
How dare you say that? Come on.
in that perspective, he is one of the best, to be honest. In
When
that
he's
his
good, he's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's not too much overlap in his stories and how
Mm-hmm.
they feel,
Yeah,
which
I agree.
I
Mm-hmm.
think. Right, but we're
Definitely.
not talking about Charles Dickens. We're talking about Thomas Hardy. Um, let's see. Should we go into spoilers, and then
Mm-hmm.
I have a few questions prepared, or
Oh.
me and Google have a few questions
Oh
prepared,
wow. Okay.
because I was a little bit last minute, so I stole a few from other book clubs. Um,
Love that.
but
Oh
I'm
god.
sure we can discuss something. All
Oh
right,
god.
this is clearly mine. Who do you
Okay, so
ship?
of
Stephen
course.
Smith or Henry Knight? We need to know.
Uh-oh. Well, am I allowed to say none of them?
I mean, I knew that's what we were going to say. That's like
Yeah.
you in every romance.
Oops.
None of
I'm
them.
sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, to be fair, they were not like maybe you disagree and I'm all here to hear your opinion, But I don't
Mhm.
think either of them were good for her. I mean, they both in different ways. I would say if I really had to pick, I do think Knight is worse. At least I think.
Mm.
From what I
Yeah.
heard, I think he was the one who was being especially rude to her. Um, but neither of them treated her really very well, I don't think. So she, this is funny, she kind of reminded me a little bit, this is a wild reference, but of Jasmine in the Latin when she says, I'm not a prize to be won, because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
how I felt the entire book. She was treated like a toy almost,
Mhm.
being judged all the time. I actually appreciated the qualities that she had. Actually, she seemed like a very
Mhm.
fulfilled, character, especially as a woman for that time. I thought it was very interesting. And then she met this man, and she was very diminished with both of them, maybe in different
Yeah.
ways. But I didn't appreciate either of them. I'm sorry, I didn't really ship any of them.
No,
Um,
I
yeah.
completely get it. But I agree
Hmm.
what you said, is that she has like these passions and talents, and the moment when she is like kind of absorbed by these men,
Hmm.
all of that goes to the background, which I feel is such a contemporary issue still, that it is
Yeah, for
expected
sure.
from women, or that it just kind of happens.
Hmm.
I will have to say, like I really didn't like Henry Knight, but
Yeah.
I feel like she did really love him. And I feel like
Mm.
maybe if he had grown as a person, she would have been more happy with him than with
Mm.
Stephen. But
Mm.
then, like, Stephen's faults were very connected to youth. So I don't know how much I can blame him, because I did feel
Hmm.
like he went through a lot of effort to like better himself and to
Hmm.
very patiently and loyally wait for her.
Hmm. Yeah, that's also
So,
true. Mm.
but I think it's good that neither of them ended up having a romantic relationship with
Yeah,
her.
I agree. I agree. Um, Maybe we didn't need that tragic ending for it not to happen, but I'm glad none of those happened. Yes,
Hmm.
because I wouldn't have been happy with either relationship. I don't think. I do agree with you that Steven's issues came a lot from the way he was maybe educated, and came a lot from his maybe naivety as well. I'm not even sure. He acted a little bit like a child, I felt
Hmm.
sometimes, and that's why I didn't really ship them. Maybe if he had grown, like, and learned a few things, maybe. But it's funny because I also agree with you that Henry Knight weirdly seemed like a better match for her, but
Yeah.
definitely not at that time. Like, he needed to do some therapy or something.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. There were
yeah.
things he said. I have a
Hmm.
note in all caps in my phone. Is he called her second hand?
Mm,
I was like,
yeah.
dude,
It's
no.
really bad. Yeah. So
Yeah.
no. Uh-uh. Yeah.
I mean, but I like usually with these kind of especially male characters, I get so annoyed and I really dislike them. But I did feel like somehow Thomas Hardy made him not likable but interesting, because um,
Mm-hmm.
he did really explore that a lot of things that he wanted from her were from a place of insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Yeah.
explored why he was feeling insecure in that way. And I found that quite powerful, to
Mm-hmm.
write a man that way, that behaves the way he did.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in a lot of novels, he would have been the future husband, he would have been the
Mm.
hero, and he would have accepted that he said the things he said.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. That's very true.
I feel like
Mm.
it reminds me of Angel, is what he was called, right? In Test of the D'Urbervilles.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a throwback. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
so.
feel like he is quite a similar character, and
Mm.
with him, like it was like all was forgiven in a way, his behavior.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, you're right. Hmm.
so I mean, Thomas Hardy writes interesting characters.
Oh, he does. That's one thing that I feel like has always been, guaranteed in these novels. Almost
Oh yeah.
you know, he explores. I feel like you said, insecurities and vulnerability as well, very well, and I always appreciate that.
Hmm.
So yes, that's very true for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, let's see. I think my internet's slowing down a bit, so I'm sorry if I'm
Oh, that's
lagging.
okay.
Um, let's see. We were talking about characters. Elfriede is portrayed as an impulsive character. Do you think she truly was? If
Mm.
so, does it develop later in the book?
Oh, interesting. Impulsive, I mean, I guess it depends on what impulsive means in this case. Like, in what way are we talking about? I feel like maybe she had this, how shall I say? She had this maybe mental image of what love was supposed to be and what type of relationship she longed for, I guess. And I guess maybe that led her to make some harsh decisions. Like, maybe she was a bit impulsive, I would say that, which also comes from some ingenuity, I would say. So maybe I didn't think of her necessarily like that, but I do think that's true. Yeah, for sure. Maybe a bit stubborn as well, I thought
Mhm.
sometimes. So yeah, I would say so. If it develops later in the book, maybe not in the best way, but I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't really see a very strong character development with
mm,
her, to be
mm,
honest. But I do think that she lived such a sheltered life with
mm.
such a dumb father. I mean, that
Yeah,
man
yeah,
just
for sure.
lacked all intelligence.
For
Um,
sure. Mm.
that the way that she ran off with Stephen, I found
Hmm.
quite a predictable thing for her to do.
Yeah, for sure. Mm.
Um, and I feel like she needed to live a little bit more. But
Hmm.
I did think she had quite a strong sense of self
Yeah,
because
exactly.
going to London and later there's like hinted that they spent the night together as well. So then not getting married, I feel like that was a big deal for her to
Hmm.
know her own will and to continue with that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like she was young, um,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
very clever in a way.
Hmm. Yeah, that's why it's kind of a hard question for me because I guess so. I guess she made some impulsive decisions, but it's not the first word that comes to mind when I think of
Mm,
her. I guess maybe because I felt like she knew herself very well, and what I mean, obviously, she needed to learn a bit more and grow, and like you said, have some more experience, live a bit more to make sure she knows how to set boundaries, how to treat other people maybe a bit more kindly because she didn't always do that either.
yeah,
But she felt like a well-formed character who knew what she wanted, and so maybe that's not the first words that I would associate with her, but I guess she did have some moments. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I think one of the most interesting things that happened in the book
Hmm.
was that she published a novel, like
I
out
know.
of nowhere, like in the middle of the book, it suddenly happened.
Yeah.
And you're thinking she was already doing this when the whole thing with Stephen was going on. She was already working on this private passion, being
Hmm.
much more accomplished actually than Stephen was in a
Yeah.
way. And then it's never mentioned again because again, I feel like she was preoccupied by Night and all the shame that she
Mm.
felt around him. But I felt like, can we just push away the man and let her
Yeah.
write her own novel?
Yeah. That's the main conclusion of this book. Like, just let her be. And I do wish we had talked a bit more about this in the book, actually, about her novel and how much she actually accomplishes throughout the story. And it
Yeah.
never seems to be discussed. Not really, I don't think. I think the romance plot always took over, and that's one of the main reasons why I didn't love the book as much, because I feel like there were some interesting things happening on the side that
Yes.
were a bit ignored sometimes, including her publishing a novel, which is impressive. And I wish we had learned more about that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Mm.
like a lot of things happened on the page that we would have found interesting to read.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's also really connected to,
Mm.
yeah, the ending and about how I felt about the way that we found out
Mm.
about what happened during her last months without actually being with her. We
Yeah.
all got it secondhand. And I felt like she could have written another novel in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and why did she choose to marry someone she clearly didn't love?
Mm-hmm.
What was it that she wanted, that she hoped for? What was the situation at home like after Night left? Was she pressured into it by anyone? And I felt
Exactly.
like there was such a rich story that we just missed out on. But
Yes,
also,
completely. Yeah.
like, he left it up to the imagination, which I also don't dislike because
Mm.
now I'm thinking about it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually one of the questions I had for you. So thank you for answering it. It's how you felt about that perspective switch at the end, because on one hand, sure, I don't mind it being a bit open to our imagination. I think that can be fun because there are multiple possible scenarios. But at the same time, it's like you were saying, like, why are we focusing on some characters that are not maybe as interesting to follow when we have this
Hmm.
protagonist whom we've been following throughout the entire book, and now suddenly when we get the climax of the story, what really happened to her, we kind of know nothing about it. I found that a bit weird, and I'm not sure why Hardy made that decision. I feel like if it was Hardy a few years like after that, he would not have written the ending like this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not sure exactly what the thought process was there, because anytime we heard about her, I was like, but why are we not following her, or at least learning a bit more about what happened? I didn't quite understand why Hardy made that choice, honestly. um, so it was a bit frustrating to me, honestly, the ending, because it was so sudden
Yeah.
as well. Like suddenly we learn that all of this happened and we didn't get to witness any of it. I don't know, it was a bit strange.
Yeah, it also felt like he punished her
Mm,
for a behavior that's mostly, I think, hinted at.
mm.
Um, but like, why did it have to end with her death?
Yeah.
I feel like it could have also been strong if she just had married another man,
Mm, mm,
and them just like they are fighting with each other, just assuming that she's waiting for them, assuming that there is a claim to be made upon her.
mhm,
And I did really like it that those idiots, because that's what they were, especially at that point in the book,
mm.
came to the town and was like, "Yeah, she moved on. Like you
Yeah,
left and she moved on."
yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's such a missed opportunity. I don't know. I wish we could have followed her a bit more.
I mean, I
Mhm.
do love that she clearly made decisions and did
Yeah.
things after they left, and that it
Hmm.
wasn't just like she died, like waiting for you.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. But even the revelation of her death, I had to re-listen maybe 3 times to make sure I was listening correctly, because I was like, "Excuse me, that's her coffin? What do you mean? what? What
yeah,
happened?" Yeah. So I don't know. It was so sudden. It's weird. I don't know.
so
Yeah.
rude as
So
well.
rude. Very
Yeah,
rude. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, anyway, but of course it had to have a tragic ending. Of course, that's also something that you can kind of expect, unfortunately, when you read a Hardy's novel. So there you go. Yeah,
yeah, it was not a very hardy book, but a very hardy ending.
yeah, definitely,
I don't know
definitely.
why he has to kill so many of his main characters,
I
but
know. Just stop it. And usually it's the
yeah,
main character and all of their families. Fortunately, that was not exactly what happened here, but it could
yeah.
have. Yeah. Oh God.
All right. I have one more question. Yes,
Mm,
it's actually about the book. How does Hardy portray class? Is it linked to the character's morality? And I kind of
mm,
meant that in a Victorian way, where the
mm,
higher the class, the higher someone's moral ground. Um,
mm. Oh, you mean like that? Hmm. I'm not sure that's true.
no, I didn't feel like that in this
Yeah, I
book at
know.
all, actually. But
Yeah, yeah.
I
Um,
found definitely Stephen an interesting character in that perspective. And I liked his mother, where she was like, well, if she won't have you, then, just be happy.
yes, I love that scene actually. I was like,
Yeah,
yes, okay, you go ahead and defend your son. I think that's very sweet. So,
yeah,
yeah, but definitely, I think it's usually the other way around, actually, with Hardy's novels, right? Like the
yeah.
higher the
Hmm.
class, the less morals you have, I believe.
Hmm.
Which I feel like somewhat happened here as well, right? We have Knight again, his example. He was supposedly a very intelligent and a gentleman, I guess, and he proved to not be any of that. So there you go. um,
Yeah,
but that's the thing. I feel like that's a very usual theme in these novels. I mean, not just Hardy's, of course, but Victorian as well. And I didn't find anything particularly new or interesting about this book specifically because it's nothing we haven't seen before. I thought it was very predictable the way the story was going to go, considering the class aspect. So
Hmm.
I think it was very, I don't know, just the standard commentary, I would say. But maybe it's because we've read so many of his books that I'm kind of used to
Yeah.
it. But
Hmm.
yeah. Mm.
What I
So,
didn't expect though was the father, that he married a
mm.
rich widow to
Oh,
increase
yeah.
his own standing,
Mm.
which came as a big surprise to me. And I actually really liked it because I did feel like she needed a woman on her side.
Mm.
And I, f- I feel like she may have guided her towards the ending in making decisions.
Mm.
Um,
Interesting. Mm.
because I did quite like her. Um, And I feel like it's also says a lot about her father because she's described as much older than him and very ugly, I think they described her.
Yeah.
And it
Rude.
shows how much he
Yeah.
cares about standing and about money, and
Mm-hmm.
how if Alfred had wanted to marry Stephen, how he could never have understand that, I think,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or be sympathetic towards that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I did
Yeah.
enjoy that. And also
Mm-hmm.
how Stephen eventually made his parents more rich, and how they suddenly everyone started talking to them. I really like that scene as well.
I
And
wonder
they were
why.
like,
Yeah.
this makes no sense, but we'll use it.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I barely remember that aspect about the father marrying the older woman. But yeah, you're right, and maybe that's a dynamic that we also should have seen more of. Because, like you said, and I think you're right, she probably influenced a lot of Alfred's decisions as well. So that could have been fun to follow as well. Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, for sure. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like also this is quite a thin Thomas Hardy novel.
Mm,
And I felt like there were things, I think we both feel like that. We want to explore more,
yeah.
which I haven't really had with Hardy before. I feel like he usually gives us all.
True. Yeah, true. I mean, you could tell, I feel like, that he was starting, to find his voice as an author, I guess, which is also fun to see, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a big change coming in this next novel. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. That's fun. But it's still good. I feel like we can appreciate what it is, like for what it is, and you can definitely see some themes and writing style that will come up eventually again in these later novels that are much improved, and that's something to cherish, I think. So, and the fact that
Yeah.
one of his first novels is not terrible, I think that's a great achievement.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, um,
Yeah, I know that a lot of people quite dislike this book. And I
really,
guess it is
oh,
less elaborate than his later works, but
mm,
I actually had quite a good time reading it. So I was quite apprehensive before getting into this. But
mm, I didn't
um,
know that. Yeah.
and that begs the question: who would you recommend this book to?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, mm, I guess if you enjoy reading romance, usually I think this could
Hmm,
be a fun book to explore. Definitely,
yeah,
even if it is to see like again the evolution of Hardy's writing style, writing romance as well, and characters. So I would say if you enjoy romance, I would definitely recommend it. Um, but I don't know. I feel like it has some interesting intrigue as well. So if you like Victorian classics, usually I think you might appreciate this one.
hmm,
I would say maybe don't go with very high expectations because there's a lot of room for improvement. But it's a book that I feel like most people could appreciate. But now you're telling me that most people did not like it. So
yeah,
that surprises me a little bit. I don't know. I feel like it's an easy book to appreciate, if that makes sense. Um,
yeah. It's easy to
so
like.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would say that for sure. Do you have anyone that you would recommend this one
I
to?
mean, I also think people who really enjoy reading very character focused
Yeah.
romances, and
Mm-hmm.
people maybe who don't, I mean, like a little bit of intrigue, but like,
Mm-hmm.
um, if people like flowery writing and really deep emotions, I would definitely recommend some of his other books over this
Mm-hmm.
one. But I think this is also quite beginner friendly when it comes
Yeah,
to
I agree.
Victorian literature.
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
So I think this would be an easy one for me to recommend. Oh my gosh, my internet's working again. My
Yay!
brain was having such a difficult time because like
Wow!
my voice was, and your voice as well, was ahead of the screen. So it was
Oh
like so
no, I'm
confusing.
sorry. I mean, you always looked perfect to me. I could listen to you and see you perfectly, so I
Oh,
didn't
thank
feel
God.
any
Yeah.
of that.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's good. I
Oh,
mean, but yeah, now
yeah.
I can focus again.
Perfect. Now at the end of the live show, I can focus.
Yeah. I mean, we have to discuss like a bit of our
Ooh,
general Thomas Hardy ranking, of
that's
course.
true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
I don't have a ranking per se because again,
Mm,
so many of the novels are kind of the same for me in my mind.
yeah. Yeah.
But would this be at the top of the or the bottom for you?
I hmm. Let me think, because I wouldn't say bottom. I feel like we've read, I'm not sure which one, but I feel like we've read at least one book that I enjoyed less than this one. I'm not sure if it was The Trumpet Major or I don't remember. I know there was one that I didn't particularly enjoy. So
Hmm.
I would say not the bottom one, maybe towards the middle, because it's not one of my
Yeah.
favorites either. I cannot say that, but
Hmm.
I would say I enjoyed it more than I was expecting, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe middle of the road, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you?
I think I feel the same. Yeah.
Mm, good.
I just because the other books all come together in my mind, I will put them
Hmm.
at the bottom. Because I cannot distinguish them very much.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
do you have a favorite that we've read? Because it's almost already pretty
the,
long.
of the ones we've read,
Yeah,
oh, I think that's Far from the Madding Crowd. Yeah.
yeah.
I know
It's
it's an easy favorite, but you know.
yeah, it's very unoriginal of us,
I
but
know. Ugh,
yeah,
awful. I mean, my favorite is still Tess, I would say,
yeah.
which we haven't read for the readathon, but I think that's still my favorite. I haven't read it in a long time,
Hmm.
but I would say that. But out of the ones we've read, I think Far from the Madding Crowd. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so disappointing when the books that are remembered for a reason and you agree. Like, I love it when you read like a backlist and you're like, why is no one reading this anymore? This one is so good. And we're
yeah.
like, yeah, we like Tess and Far From the Crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Like easy favorites.
Yeah, yeah. It's
um,
unoriginal, but
I
it's
know.
true.
You want to know my most disappointing one?
Do you
Can you
remember?
guess? Maybe you can guess. Oh, yeah, I do remember. Hmm.
Uh,
You don't have to guess.
oh,
It's
yeah,
okay.
no, I do. Jude.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I felt the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't
I
dislike it, but I was hoping for something much more impactful, and mm, didn't quite get
Yeah,
there.
I also
Yeah.
just felt a little bit weird after reading that because I
Hmm.
knew it was heartbreaking,
Hmm.
but it wasn't heartbreaking in the sense that you love the characters and then something bad happens to them, like with
Exactly.
Tess.
Hmm.
Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
but yeah, I know Jude, I didn't find it that impactful,
No,
which
yeah,
is,
that's what I was saying.
yeah,
I agree. Yeah, that's sad.
yeah,
It's sad.
yeah,
Oh, anyway, it is what it is, I guess.
yeah. I mean, as I said earlier in this live show, if anyone is watching new, this was our last book, and we
Hmm.
do have plans for 2026, but
We
just that,
do.
we just have plans.
Very
So
vague.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be reading together in 2026, and you can join us, of course, if you want
Yes.
to, and we'll let you know in time how, when, where.
Where? My place or yours?
Volumes.
Yeah. Oh my god.
um,
Yeah.
for now, is there anything you want to say about this book, Mary, that we haven't discussed yet?
I don't think so. I think those were the main points. Then again, because I'm trying to remember, but honestly, listening to that was a struggle. And right now, I don't really remember anything else. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, no, I made the question, so I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So,
Perfect. There you
well,
go.
then I just want to say, Mary, thank you so much for reading all of these books with me.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
I feel like we have so much classics that we read because we read them together.
I know.
Um, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, it's an
Um,
amazing feeling, honestly. Thank you.
yeah, I feel very, how do you say, esteemed, very
Mm,
Very clever, having read all these
Wow.
classics.
There you go. Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it? Like, yeah, I've read all of that, all of those
Yeah,
books.
I
Yeah,
can
I've
brag.
done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. Amazing.
And thank you to anyone who read some or one or two or all Thomas Hardy's books with
Yay.
us. I do know there is another Thomas Hardy read along going on
Hmm.
still, and they're reading everything. If
Oh,
I can
wow.
find it, I will leave it in the description. If you still want to keep on reading Thomas Hardy, then you can join
Yes.
them. For now, thank you so much for watching, and we are gonna go.
Yes. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.